I've just finished a brew day today, and I'm just looking a little pint. You know what this is? This is the bloody keg that will not kick. This is the Kvike red rye Kvike, whatever it was I called it. It's still on top. It's still going. I don't know how or why, but it's just not one to kick. To be fair, I haven't been drinking it all of the time, so that is probably the reason why. I made a black IPA as well too after that. I don't even think I've posted the black IPA video up yet. I should probably do that, but that keg kicked a while back. So yeah, we're trying to finish this. The weird thing about this, just seeing something, don't know what that is. The weird thing about this is that it was. Sometimes I drink this and it tastes really bitter, and sometimes I taste it and it's not bitter at all. And I had one on Friday night and it wasn't bitter, and I had one last night and it was a little bit bitter. I'm curious to know what this is going to taste like tonight. So let's go. It's not bitter. Don't know. The hops have faded somewhat. It's not fresh anymore, but there is still a good bit of taste in there. Obviously, the red axe malt, the rye in there as well, but there is still a bit of hop flavor in there. But that's the boiled hops, I would say. But you know, boiled hops are important. Always put boiled hops in, because they're the ones you're going to be tasting at the end when it's all over. But very nice. So yeah, so I thought I'd put a video out, because I haven't put anything out in ages, and I need to get back into it. I'm back into like just a habit of making videos and watching videos as well too, because I've been logged over to my other account. I try not to watch YouTube videos, not BrewTube videos, YouTube videos on the Big Banana channel, because I don't want my algorithm being messed up. And because that's what always happens. It's like I watched the Bob Dylan movie the other night, and every time I look at my phone now, it's like Bob Dylan, Bob Dylan, Bob Dylan, all the way down. Even though I'm watching BrewTube videos, it's like Bob Dylan, Bob Dylan, and it's like bloody hell. So I try to watch all that stuff on my other channel, and then keep all the BrewTube stuff here, so I can, so the algorithm is not messed up. Not that there's anything wrong with Bob Dylan, but I'll watch Bob Dylan on the other channel rather than here, and I'll watch Dylan Braggy Bach on this channel. There we go. That's a good one. Anyway, never mind all that. So yeah, I did a brew day today. We had we made like a red. It's not red. It's in here. It's not red at all. It's an American pale ale. There's not real. I think I called it like hoppy red pale ale or something like that. I don't know. It's something. It was one of many recipes. I couldn't work out what I wanted to make. I haven't brewed anything in like about 6 weeks, something like that. But I've been planning the next brew the whole way through, and every week that goes past, I've got another. I want to drink something else and something else and something else. And like literally that was like a Saturday night, or Saturday night last night, trying to put that recipe together. And the reason why I wanted to brew that was because I've been drinking a bit of Camden Pale Ale. It's not the easiest thing to come by over here, but it's a beer I do like, and I'll get it when I see it. It's only 4 to 4.5%, something like that. I don't know what. And it led me back when I was looking through the list of the recipes I have. Seen that the Thornbird Chiron, which is something I brewed way back, well this year, like, but at some point this year, and that was also like an American type of an old school American IPA / pale ale, and I remember that I really enjoyed that and really liked the crystal taste in it as well too, which came through and stayed in the in the beer. So I figured to do something like that. The Camden Pale is a bit like that, I suppose. Just so it's kind of very loads and loads of flavour, but it's not like an IPA or anything too hoppy like that, which I don't really want. Just want something, a nice balance between it. And I was trying to keep the trying to keep the hops down and stuff, because I always tend to overdo it and just throw, because I've got so many hops, I just tend to stick another 10, 20, 30 grams on when I can, just to try and get rid of them. And then the funny thing was, when I was doing the brew day today, I was weighing out the hops, and then I realised I'd put the wrong hops on. Put the wrong hops in completely. It was supposed to be like Simcoe and Citra, and I ended up with Simcoe or Citra and Cascade, something like that. So it wasn't even right. So great, well done me. But yeah, so I thought I'd do a brew day today, because I said the last time I brewed it was maybe 6 weeks ago or something. I did the double batch of New Zealand Pilsner, and I was brewing every week, basically, so that would leave me time free to do other stuff in the meantime, and then I knew I'd be kind of brewing toward the end of September, and that's worked out perfectly. I probably could have left it another week, but I'm getting through the kegs rightly. I've got so I got the two kegs of New Zealand Pilsner, which I actually kegged the other night. The second one the other night. The first one it'd been kegged weeks ago. Its keg must be a third full now. It's quite good, but I think I've used too many hops on it, to be honest. So it may just needs a bit of more conditioning time. It's a lager anyway, so obviously that's what the second keg's for. I was kegging it, the second one, the other night, and it must have been sitting on the gas for like 6 weeks, or not the gas, on the yeast kick for about 6 weeks. And I was thinking like about how, I got to thinking about the monks, you know, the German monks, who famously make the beer in their purity law, and they make the beer in like the winter time, and then they don't actually drink it until the summertime. And I was wondering to myself, how do they do that? How did they do that? Are they putting that into bottles? Were they putting that into bottles? Were they keeping it in the fermenter, whatever the fermenter was that they were using, or was it like in a barrel or something, or was it off the yeast? Was it on the yeast cake? Was it off the yeast cake? I was wondering all this kind of stuff. Was it primed with sugar? Was it carbonated, or you know, all this type of stuff? And it's basically all because I had left it on the yeast cake, and I was wondering about, you know, what's called autolysis? Is that what it's called? Where you leave stuff on the yeast cake too long. It's fine. 6 weeks is nothing anyway, in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure there's someone out there that's left it on a lot longer than that. Probably Rusty. There's a fly going around here. Probably Rusty. Yeah, he's exactly the type of person that would do that, because he couldn't be arsed. So if anyone knows that, if there's any beer nerds or historians out there that know anything about the German monks in the 15th or 16th century, bugger off. Feel free to write in the comments as to what they did, because it's something that has always, it's not puzzled me, but I've always been curious of how exactly they went about that and what kind of equipment they were using and whatnot, because it just seems to be, I don't know. I'm curious how they did it, and they avoided infections and all that type of stuff. So speaking of German lagers, actually, I've still got the Munich lager, not the Munich Helles. Have we had this conversation before? I feel like I've made lots of videos where I'm explaining that this is not a Munich Helles and it's not an Oktoberfest, even though it is slightly an Oktoberfest. But I'm drinking away at it, and I need to do I think there's a brew day video on it, so I'll need to have a look and see if I can get that bottomed out. Haven't done a tasting video on it yet, but yeah, it's going down well as well, especially this time. This is Oktoberfest time, isn't it? So it's quite nice. It's Diet Oktoberfest, let's call it that. I'll be done with it. So yeah, there's that as well, and yeah, so I was kind of wondering, I don't want to do any more lagers, but I've got an issue with yeast, and that I don't have a lot of yeast. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't have a lot of variety of yeast. That's where we want to go with that. Because I've got all that big, because I bought that big brick of lager yeast, the Einstein, WHC Einstein. It's very nice. It goes really well. I'm enjoying it. But there's quite a lot of it. So I've actually used it on the beer I did today, because I don't. What I want is USO5 or something like that. I need a nice clean ale yeast, but we're gonna have to make do with lager yeast. So all I've got is that, the saturated yeast. I've got even more saturated yeast. I don't know what to do with, and a few other bits and bobs, which is mainly Kvike and wheat beer yeast and that type of stuff. Some inappropriate stuff. For what I want. So I don't want to buy. I know I could just buy more yeast, but the problem is that I have zero discipline, and what I'll do is I'll buy some yeast and then I'll end up buying a load of hops, and then I'll see some malt on offer and I'll buy some malt, and I've already got enough for 15 brews here, really, honestly. It's way too much and I need to get through it. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know what to do. I probably should just go and get some more yeast, yeast alone. But sort of, I do really want to use whatever I have in stock, rather than going and buying more, because as I say, I've got no discipline. The last time I wanted to buy some specific malt, you bastard. The last time I wanted to buy a specific malt, this is not that long ago, and I ended up with about 400 grams of different hops, mainly like English hops and all that type of stuff, and German hops, and that's what I'm afraid of. It's not that I can't like afford it or anything like that. It's more that it's just taking the piss now, because I'm just got too much stuff in there, and I need to kind of wise up. So yeah, also, well, the other night when I was kegging the beer, this is like a Wednesday night, it became apparent that I'd run out of gas. And I've always wondered how long my gas lasts, and I never remember when I bought it, and I was always like, is that like 2 years that's been going on, that gas? Is that 1 year? Is that like 6 months? Did I bet 3 weeks ago? Or I could never remember, because I never remember anything. Well, I actually wrote it down on that board over there where that big banana is. And it was the 24th of October 2024 was when I bought that gas tank. And then it ran out, what, 16th, I think it was, 16th of September, so just a couple of days ago there. So that's like just under 11 months, isn't it? So that seems to be about right for me, what I use the gas for, because I use the gas to, like, I think I showed you in the video, I bring the gas over, I'll put it in there, and I just let the gas escape coming out the keg. I could do the whole, proper close transfer where you're balancing it and stuff, but the problem with that is that I don't have the spunding valve. Spunding valve, there's one there. Spunding valves are all like ball lock. My kegs are mainly pin lock. I don't have any kind of converter or anything like that. I'd normally just change that. But the problem with them is that this is like a thinner, this is like 5/16, I think. And all the pin lock ones are 3/8. It's hard to remember these bloody imperial measurements. They're a pain in the hole. And I do have any amount of these, but I just can't be bothered. I cannot be bothered to fit that all up just to do that. So I just basically run the gas and just let it escape the other end, because it's gas, it's fine. I'm not that tight. Maybe if I was that tight, I would be able to do a full 2 years of gas, but the way I see it is, you get the odd leak here and there, so that's much worse than doing that deliberately. But anyway, so to cut a long story short, I ran out of gas. Okay, I have contingencies for that type of thing, which is the emergency gas bottle over there. So the normal gas bottle is like the big one. I think it's 6 kilos. So now we're into metric measurements, which is just confusing. 6 kilos, the big tall one. and the small one is I think it's 2 kilos. I could be wrong, but it's like a little fire extinguisher size. In fact, it is literally a fire extinguisher that's been converted to gas. So I put that on, didn't think anything of it. Put that one on, and it seemed like I was like listening to stuff at the time. I was listening to a podcast or something like that. So I wasn't really paying attention. But it seemed like I'd run out of gas as well. And I didn't realise this about 5 minutes or whatever later. And I was like, oh my God, I got really paranoid. I was thinking that maybe I'd like somehow not heard it leaking out because I wasn't really listening. And yeah, so I was like halfway through the transfer at this point, and it was like, what am I going to do here? So then I tried to do the closed transfer, but you need the gas to be balanced a bit more. So I was trying to balance the gas, and I was taking it out of one and taking it out of the other one, so I was losing gas all the time. And so that didn't work either. So then I was so desperate that I ended up trying to take the gas from the kegs that are in the geyser, which didn't work either. So then I had it. Then it got to the point where I had no gas anywhere in anything, and yeah, it was just like, oh my, so comical. And what I didn't realize, I was drinking as well too at this point, because when I tend not to drink during the week except when I'm kegging, and I'll treat myself to a keg because I have to sit here and wait for it to finish. So I was out there for about 45 minutes. At this point, had a couple of pints down, and then I was like, oh, this is a disaster. I'm going to have to leave this. I'm going to have to get gas tomorrow and do this all again. But so then I started to take it apart, everything apart, the little fire extinguisher, and I thought I'll just try the tap again. And I turned it on, nothing. And then I turned it another bit, and it was a bit stiff, and it suddenly came on. So I got out of jail with that one. It turned out there was gas actually, and it was just me. I didn't realise that the handle was a bit stiff when I was turning it on. So yeah, that was fortunate. So I got everything regassed, got it finished, got another couple of pints, of course, and then went into work the next day with a stinking hangover. So yeah, all was well that ended well. But yeah, that was comical. The state of me trying to do that. Brilliant. Anyway, I'm gonna go because I don't want this to end up being like 20 minutes long and I'm just waffling on. I am conscious that I am waffling away here about God knows what. So happy Homebrew Wednesday, or whenever day this is when I put this up or you watch it. It doesn't really matter. That's why it doesn't matter. But yeah, cheers. I shall hopefully see you next week. Yeah, although with a brew day video, I was gonna say, it was with the Black IPA brew day video, but then I need to get this video up, and then we'll get that one out the next time. So I don't know, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, cheers. Bye. See ya.